Join the Wide Whale team May 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern for part 2 of our 3-part virtual event series, Voice of the Resident. For part 2, we will look specifically at residency. Using AI topic analysis, we've analyzed the free text of 400,000 Google reviews from residents of hundreds of top multifamily groups, including the NMHC Top 50, to identify how often 50 key topics are mentioned by residents. By filtering for and analyzing the topics by life cycle stage, we can isolate which topics are more influential during residency, versus tour, or renewal. Go to widewhale.com/data to sign up or find it in the revised community. That's widewhale.com/data.
There are two ways to climb an oak tree. But before we get to that, let me talk about this. Hardwood grows slowly, right? Hardwood grows slowly. That is to say, some of the most prestigious trees in this world, some of the redwood forests or trees in the redwood forest out on the West Coast, have taken hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to get to the height that they are today. And they are made up of hard, very hard wood in order to sustain themselves over that long bit of time through all of the weather conditions that have persisted over a very long bit of time. Suffice it to say, they have to have very strong roots. They have to have a very strong and solid foundation as it relates to growing up and up and up and up toward the sky. And that is a slow process. If you think about that, sort of correlate that with your own life in terms of building your character, your disciplines, your skills, and those things that are necessary for you to show up in the world, to be a good person for others, to be a good person for yourself. All of those things take a lot of time. You're not just born into the world with this incredible character, with these incredible disciplines, with these incredible skill sets. You're not born into that. You have to practice those things. You have to fail often, a lot. You have to skin your knees. If you're riding a bicycle, you have to skin your knees and your elbows. You have to go through hardships. You have to go through adversities. You have to go through all kinds of let's call it stuff, right? Let's call it stuff. Let's go through all kinds of stuff in order to get the lessons that life has to teach you in order for you to show up and to be helpful to other people. If you want to be helpful to other people, you have to go through life learning lessons that become helpful to you so that you can become helpful to other people. A lot of times we go through life and we learn hard lessons, but we don't really make application of those lessons that we learn. Those hardships that we overcome, those adversities that we've overcome, we don't imbue those lessons in our mind. They're not in our heart. We don't think about them enough to manifest themselves into the world so that we're a beneficial presence for us and for others, for ourselves and for others. We don't do the hard work. We may learn the lesson. We may intellectually understand what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is evil. Intellectually, we can understand those things, but a lot of times we don't make application. We want to take that next step. That next hard step is actually do those things. When you show up in that moment and you have a catalyst and you go, ooh, I really want to do that. I really want to do that thing because I know what that feels like. I know what that looks like. I know what that sounds like. I want to do that instead of, oh man, that's the right thing for me to do is this, right? It's this. And I'm not going to be as excited about that. It's not going to feel as exciting or as good as the other thing that I wanted to do. It's that moment where you make that choice, where you've actually taken that next step. You actually have done that hard work. You're doing that rep that's going to imbue in your mind the right choice each time you are faced with an adversity. So how do you climb the oak tree? As I said at the beginning, there are two ways. One is that you just climb it, or you can sit on an acorn. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Join the Wide Whale team May 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern for part 2 of our 3-part virtual event series, Voice of the Resident. For part 2, we will look specifically at residency. Using AI topic analysis, we've analyzed the free text of 400,000 Google reviews from residents of hundreds of top multifamily groups, including the NMHC Top 50, to identify how often 50 key topics are mentioned by residents. By filtering for and analyzing the topics by life cycle stage, we can isolate which topics are more influential during residency, versus tour, or renewal. Go to widewhale.com/data to sign up or find it in the revised community. That's widewhale.com/data.